Aloha, people. Merry Christmas, Adrian. We're live again.
Merry Christmas. We are live again.
How are you doing
Christmas.
today? Everything all right?
Everything is okay. I'm excited about the live that we've done last time, and now I'm
Yesterday.
excited for the interview here now.
So just to tell everyone, we've been now doing one interview per week, and we also started doing lives on Instagram where we talk about topics that upset, the workers, hospitality workers, employees, and also upset the guests. And things like, like you walk into a restaurant 5 minutes before it closes, and you place an order. Why does the kitchen staff, react the way they do? Or so if you want to check that out, check our Instagram page. And of course, as usual, if you haven't subscribed to our YouTube channel yet, please do right here. And we appreciate that. We've now reached about 50 subscribers, which is amazing. So thank you again, everybody, for watching us, for following us. We've been receiving really nice comments, and we keep receiving nice comments and offers like from people that would like to be interviewed by us. So thank you once again. Now I'll leave the floor to Adrian, which has another great fun fact for us. Make it easy this time.
Oh, I'm not gonna make it easy. You know me. There is something that I think you're gonna be surprised, even if it's, let's say, close to you. Let's put it this way.
All right.
Tell me if you know in which country you'll never gonna find an hospitality job, for example.
Never.
If you can imagine.
Oh, I can guess. You told me that it's close to me. I have to say Vatican City.
Yes. the smallest country in the world. Obviously, I made it too easy for you.
Yeah.
Too many tips, too many informations. So yeah, in Vatican City, there are obviously being the smallest country in the world. That's the name of it. You cannot find any hospitality jobs. You have to settle in Rome. There are not even like very rarely you're gonna find a hotel, and you know it already. You have to settle in Rome if you want to work for it, and then you cannot find, obviously, being a.
What about a cafe? There is at least one cafe or one bar in Vatican City. There has to be.
No, I don't think so. No, I don't think so. This is those are my information, and I'm correct.
You're gonna stick to it. Okay. I'll leave you the benefit of the doubt.
We have to go to Vatican and see how everything goes. Yeah. As far as I've seen the movie with Tom Hanks. I think it's how is it called? About Vatican. I don't know.
Not Da Vinci. It's not the Da Vinci Code.
The Da Vinci Code. Yeah, the Da Vinci Code. Yeah, exactly. So I haven't seen in Vatican anyone drinking a cafe or anything like that. So maybe
people have to go out to Rome. I guess.
But I think I've specified hospitality hotel business. I've said hotels. I haven't said cafe. So let's
That's
halfway through. Let's meet halfway through.
Who knows? Maybe in the future somebody's gonna open a hotel in Vatican City.
Please, Dio mio, please be me.
They're gonna make a fortune. Who knows?
Yeah.
But thank you for this, and I will let you also introduce today's special guest while I invite her. So tell us something about her.
You're gonna invite her now, and she's gonna hear how many amazing things I'm gonna say about her, or not?
Go ahead.
Oh yeah, I was gonna say yeah. So we all of us we've worked together. I've remembered her always smiling. She's always been in a good mood, even when she was serious. She was always polite, always amazing. I've had an amazing experience working with her, and I think she's a little bit, maybe at work. Let's say just at work. I don't know her. I don't know that good in real life. Let's put it this way. But in work, she's a typical Spanish person.
Okay. Having said this, I will invite her now.
Please. A totally different Spanish stereotype. Amazing person.
So here she comes. Hi, Irene. Welcome today. She's connected, yeah?
I think so. She is connected.
Exactly like Sergio did in our third interview. you know, that
Yes,
connected, and
connection.
then you know,
Yes,
this happened, and the topics are related today as well. So it's not a
of course,
coincidence.
definitely.
She's
Hi,
in.
sorry guys.
Yes, there
Oh, there
she
you
is.
go. Yes, there you go.
How are you,
Buenos,
Irene?
buenos días.
Very good. How are you?
Fine,
Here from
fine,
Spain.
amazing. So Adrian was just saying a few nice things about you. Of course, you were not connected, but you can watch this video from the beginning when we
Definitely.
finish, and then you will know what he actually said about you, if it was nice or not.
Yeah. No, I was nice.
But we'll leave you the chance to introduce yourself. So take 1 or 2 minutes and tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, I'm from Spain, from Seville. I actually end up studying tourism by chance because I started studying finance and accountability. I found it bored, and then I thought, let's find something that mix economics and languages. And then, because I'm already French, and I studied tourism. And then it was when I had my first experience as a receptionist that I found out how much I loved it. Speaking languages, finding people from other countries, giving them what they want, exceeding their expectations. Thanking you when they leave because they had such an amazing time and they were so happy. And it's just it's not even like a job, you know. It's just fun. Every day is different, and I love it. I really love it. So yeah, I studied tourism here in Seville, and then I developed my career in Manchester, as you know, where I met you guys. Hilton Deansgate was the most challenging experience, as we all know as well. And then back to Seville, because my city is now having a touristic boom. Well, not now, but last year, and then it'll come up likely at the end of this year or the next one. But Seville has a great potential as well, and there are a lot of hotel openings. So let's give it a chance here.
We heard a lot about,
Thank you.
I heard a lot at least about Sevilla, knowing other people from Sevilla, that it was voted or nominated for like the, what is it, the tourism capital of Europe, or I don't know. It won
Best
some.
touristic city, or the best city to do tourism or something like that.
Yeah. So even though I've never been, I
Amazing.
don't know if Adrian's ever been. Have you been to Sevilla?
I've been just to Malaga. I don't know if I don't know if it's close enough, or you have a big
Is
rivalry with them. I don't know.
It's
I
not
just
too
been
far.
there, but it's yeah,
No,
Spain
it's
is
about a
beautiful.
couple of hours. It's very different from Malaga, though. We don't have a beach. We can be perfect, but it's really, really nice here as well. Malaga is great too. But you both invited, as soon as we will be able, you both invited to know
Okay,
Seville.
let me prepare my passport now. Oh, it's okay. Don't worry.
So thank you for your introduction. And from what you said about hospitality, how you loved, your first reception job and speaking languages and meeting people from all over the world, we're going to introduce today's topic, which is a bit challenging, possibly because we're going to talk about complaints. And now, since complaints is a very vague topic, it's a very open topic, we could ask thousands of questions possibly about complaints. We don't want to keep it too vague. So the first thing that I want to ask you is, when you had, imagine you had, we know we worked in Manchester in our hotel, and maybe in our hotel, there was one issue, there was a recurring issue. I'm not saying there was one in particular, but imagine there was one. And so every day you would get maybe 10 complaints about the same thing. Or imagine it happened to you in Sevilla when you were first working there. So if something like this happens to you, you have every day the same complaints. First of all, what is your advice not to get bored of this? For somebody who, for example, is working in the hospitality business, how would you handle that? And then what is your approach? What is your proactive approach towards this?
Exactly. So the problem is when it's a recurring complaint, and sometimes there's nothing you can do about it because it's how the hotel is made, or it's something really can handle, like the wind, for example. We know at Manchester Deansgate was a tower. If it was a very windy day, there will be recurring complaints about noise. So when it's about noise, there's really nothing you can do because you don't know how the weather's going to be. But when it's a recurring complaint, what I would do, what I usually try to do is get ahead. Like we try to find a reasonable excuse or answer to these sort of complaints. Obviously trying to read the guest, how we think is going to handle it. If we, for example, have a recurring complaint about one room in particular because of the situation on the hotel or because of the how close it is to the elevator, we will try to assign this room to maybe a young couple who's not here to enjoy the hotel but the city, or they're going to a concert, or they're going out, so they won't suffer this problem as much as a businessman, for example, who we know we spend a lot of time in bedroom coming after the office. So usually when there's nothing you can do, you just have to make it not normal, but make it like we know what's happening. We're trying to do our best. We're trying to make the guest understand, or we're trying to give them something good. Like I still remember the sandwich technique you taught me a long time ago, Claudio, and I do it with guests too. So when we have this sort of guest that we know is going to end up on a complaint because it's a 100% occupation and this room has to go to someone. So we try to give them something good to make up for the something they may not like about the room.
Very good.
That's amazing. That's very interesting that you're saying about complaints in general, or recurrent complaint. But I want to ask you something a little bit more on the subject. Please tell me when, for example, you worked in a hotel and everyone knows that you had an amazing department. Sometimes there were big functions in the restaurant. Sometimes there were the big functions in the cocktail bar. But how do you deal with the complaint? Let's say everyone knows that you work in reception. How did you deal with the complaint when, for example, someone came from the restaurant, didn't have an amazing experience, he stays there for 3-4 nights in a row, and then you didn't know about that experience, you didn't know what to do, but you have to listen because you are in front of the guest. How did you manage to deal with this kind of complaints?
Well, if a guest from the restaurant comes to me saying I had a bad experience at the restaurant or something happened to me at the restaurant, first of all, you listen. Well, I'm really sorry for what happened to you. I'm really sorry you didn't enjoy your experience. Let me gather some more information about what happened. So I'll give him a drink voucher to go to the bar while I inquire more about what really happened, because the guest might have a point of view. The waiter who had them on the table may have a different view. Sometimes it's not bad or wrong. Sometimes it's just the perspective. I still remember Hilton Dinsgate having Olga coming to me saying, I have a guest who's complaining that the onion soup is not an onion soup because it doesn't taste like the onion soup he has at home. It's like, obviously there's really nothing you can do. You just have to say, I'm sorry you didn't like the soup. That's how we do it here. But obviously the most important is not just to say, well, I'm really sorry, I hope you enjoy the rest of your stay. Gather some information, make him feel special, make him feel like you're actually finding something to do with him. You really want him to be happy. You know, something went bad or something wasn't as expected, and well, sometimes you just have to make up for it because it may not be our fault, but we're here to ensure they have a good time. So it's not, the answer is not to say, look, this is our onion salad. I don't know how you make it at home, but this is how we have it here. Say, well, I'm sorry, the onion salad was not your taste. Let's try a good dessert to make up for it, for example.
So about this, like I'll give you an example. If I'm the guest, and I tell you about the onion soup, it's not the same. Like my question could be, can you make it the same or as similar as possible to how I have it? Is that an option or no?
Well, for that, the guest would have to have the list of ingredients of the soup. I mean,
and the recipe with him, yeah.
I mean, obviously, we could say something like, I'm sorry, sir, I could try as much as I can, but the onion soup your mom does for you or the onion soup you make at home is never going to be as good as the one we have here. I mean, your onion soup has a big I mean, you have a big expectation for your onion soup. And even though our onion soup is the way we do it, but you're not going to find it. I mean, this onion soup has something special for you wherever you have it, you know?
But tell me again, because you said a little bit earlier before, you said something when even when it's not our fault. When you say something like that, please explain a little bit. For example, there is a guest that comes and he's angry because he missed his cab, he missed his train or his flight, or he had a bad experience outside or at a football game or anything, something crazy like that, that doesn't belong to our department, to our hotel. How would you handle something like that? Not handle, but just what you've done, your experience, because
Yeah,
I'm sure
obviously.
100% you cannot do anything. If it's
I mean,
raining outside, you can't do anything.
exactly. In this case, you just try to empathize as much as you can, speak with the guest. I mean, I still remember I had a guest checking in with me, and we end up crying, both of us, because she was having such a bad time, because someone on her family had cancer, and she just
Oh,
needed to speak to someone. And she decided
yeah.
check-in time was the time. So obviously I could have said, sorry, mom, we have a long queue behind you. I need to attend your next guest. But you could feel this guest needed to speak with you. So sometimes they're not looking for an answer. They're not looking for something to be done for them. They just want to speak with someone, because sometimes they are alone. If they are businessmen, they're traveling alone. They had a really bad day. They had a really bad experience. It's raining. On the top of that, they lost the cab, and they come to you. They may seem like they're angry to you, but they just need someone to speak to,
Well
and
put,
you just
well put.
empathize. Say how bad it is for you as well when it's raining. Say how much you understand the situation and how sorry you are, and hopefully you can do something. And sometimes you can do something. There's so much you can do without spending money at the hotel, or there's so much you can do but have giving them something for free.
I'm so happy that you said this, that you told us about your experience, because I would like to emphasize that. I would like to specify to everyone that apparently in the world there is one job that's not, of course, a psychiatrist or something like that. There is one job in hospitality where people go and they just talk to them about their problems, and that job is the job of a bartender. But we would like to point out that for example, us, or in hospitality in general, it doesn't have to be just the reception and bartenders, but everybody. You cross even the housekeepers on the floors. Like, you can cross a guest and you just start talking, and you might make their day with something you say. So I would like to point out that it's not only bartenders that get to talk to people and hear their problems, but it's all of us, in the hotel and in the hospitality
Yeah.
business. And
I can add something here. Sorry to interrupt you. I can
no, go
add
ahead.
something here. And it can be either way around, because when you had a big reception, you had a big queue, you had, I don't know, complaints all over the day, you had an awful day, let's say, and someone comes to you and said, listen, you've done a good job today, out of nowhere, unexpected. I think you feel something different, and you say, oh, okay, he made my day, and I can go home and cry in peace. But at least at home, here at work, I can have the rest of the day, I can feel a little bit more relaxed. So if someone can make your day as well, even if you're working, either way around, if you are a guest.
And I will tell you that
No,
no, sorry, go ahead, Irene.
Yeah, no, that's just to end a bit what Adrian was saying. It happens as well, and it's great and it's marvelous when someone takes the time to speak with you when you're on reception or you're doing a round. Lately, I was a duty manager in the hotel where I was, and obviously you have to go to different points. And wherever you go to the cafeteria or to restaurant, you start just asking, how's everything going for you? And they end up asking about yourself, and you just talk about how it's going. They say how good job you're doing and how you love it, and you just can't avoid, you have to love those guests who take interest in you and ask you and
Exactly.
tell you how good you're doing, and they see your evaluation. They see, oh, I've seen you here, or I've seen you there. Yeah, I can see you everywhere. Or I've seen you talk to that guy. They actually look at you. Sometimes you feel like you're invisible walking around the hotel, but they see you.
Yeah, I wanted to add that I'll give you an example. That once I was in, I think it was when I was in Hilton, Malta, and it was a very busy day, a very chaotic day, and I had a guest checking in front of me, and I think I asked him to be patient, for 1 second because I had to fix other things, and he just told me, "Don't worry, take all the time you need. I've been where you are right now, so I know how it is. Just don't worry about me. I'm patient. I have all day." And something like this, as Irene was saying, just can fix your day, can fix all your problems. So I'll always remember that. And I think we all want to be like what that guest was for me. We want to be that for everybody else. To connect with this, I wanted to add and maybe ask Irene as well. In our third interview, we talked about empowerment, and of course, it goes hand in hand with complaints because you've been a supervisor, of course, and I believe that right now, lately, like in between lockdowns, you've been working with a hotel, like training other people. So, what is your take on empowerment, and how do you empower other people to handle complaints?
Yeah, exactly. Empowering is a very big step to deal with complaints, because sometimes you can see that the problem is that receptionist or staff is not trained to respond to these complaints, not as much as they don't know what they can do or what they should do at that point. So we develop a series of steps to empower, like if there is a new person working in reception, how we'll do step by step. Like, first of all, obviously the receptionist wouldn't know what to do, so he goes to the manager explain him what they would do, come to me, I'll show you, and then step by step give him more power. Like, next time, for example, just ask, but you'll do it yourself. Or the next time, just tell him, I had this complaint and I dealt it this way, is it all right? And then just give you some good feedback and some good review, what you do, what you don't, and give you from the beginning a series of answers or options of what you can do. Like, for example, if it's a noise complaint, you may not want to bother your manager. Just say, if you have a noise complaint, give him another room where it's not going to be noisy. But just like step by step, obviously no one knows the hotel at the beginning, no one knows the room or the recurring complaint or the standards or what you can do, what you cannot. So empowering, it's a very important thing when dealing with complaints, because sometimes, and I had the feeling in the past, like people avoid dealing with complaints because they don't have an answer and they don't want to go to the manager because they're afraid of what they would say. Because sometimes you have it comes both ways. Either the receptionist is afraid to ask the manager, either the manager wouldn't bother dealing with the complaint and say, just do it yourself. I was like, okay. So yeah, empowering, it's an important thing, something I'd say that Hilton gives you. Really, I haven't had much experience outside Hilton, but they do very well. They reassure you of what you can do, what you cannot, and they obviously back you up every time.
And
So
I
I think
think
that's
that
really important. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I think that's like, and most of the times people are like team members are scared to deal with complaints, not because they have an angry person in front of them, but because they don't know what to do or what to say. And the moment when they realize that they can do this or they can say this, then they want to do it even more because the satisfaction that it gives you when you fix something and when you make somebody happy and they were angry, is worth, I think, working in hospitality, because like that's what, in my experience, I look forward to, to turn a situation around. I don't know what Adrian thinks.
Oh, it's absolutely important to be empowered, to have this confidence that your manager is gonna be there for you, and when you take a decision to make someone happy, and they are at the end of the day, when they, let's say, when they fill up a complaint review or a review for the hotel, and then they put your name there and say, okay, that person, beta or omega or you name it, he solved the problem, then your manager, they see that you've done your job well, and then you are on the right path, and so on and so forth. So it's important. But I'm sure Irene, she loves all of this, because she was amazing with solving problems. Because she said something. She said that you are French and you lived in Spain and you've been in UK. I want to ask you something about the stereotypes of traveling and complaining, because and don't say that I'm not right, because I'm sure you're going to be polite and you're going to say that no, it's universal, everything is the same, but that's not. I want you to tell us a little bit if there are, and there are, differences between how people complain in Spain, how people complain in France, how people complain in UK, and if there is an universal way to solve them, or you will have to adapt between countries, between situations.
Well, my answer is a bit subjective, because I have the advantage to speak the 3 languages. So it's really an advantage, and I've always said that, because I know how in England they don't really give importance to other languages. I had interviews where say, I'm French and I'm Spanish. It's fine as soon as you speak English. But when you have a Spanish guest or a French guest coming to your reception and they see that you speak the languages, you are like a friend. You are family. You are from where I am. You understand me. You get my culture. You know exactly what I'm going through. So I would say, and I thought your question was more about how they like each other or not, because I had that in every single country, how Spanish people have says the things to say about French people and the other way around. But everyone is I'd say it's general, because a complaint, it's an unfulfilled expectations. We all from the countries, we have different expectations, like how a Spanish person will give more importance to a sunny room, for example, or how French people will enjoy more homemade meal. I don't know. I mean, it's just, but at the end of the day, we all enjoy the same type of experiences. We all look more or less the same. At some point, you know where you're going. You know you're going to UK. You know you're going to France. You know you're going to Spain. But I just want to say how important it is to speak languages. If you like languages, study them, because they really gives you an advantage when dealing with people, because they just, I wouldn't say they trust you more, but I had, complaints. And when you answer in the language, it's no more a complaint, it's a whistle. They come to you instead of saying, I want to speak with your manager, I had this complaint. They say, oh, actually, excuse me, I just want to point you that in our room we have this issue. Can you solve it? Can you do something for us? Because they think you're going to do something for them, and you will. Because you're French, you speak English, you speak Spanish, and all you get should be important for you, and they are. But they come to you in a different way.
I couldn't agree more. I remember like reading that once, like that when somebody speaks to you in a different language, you just hear a sound. But if they speak to you in your language, they hear something like a warm heart or something. I don't know what the quote was, but it was something like this. I couldn't agree more.
It's a bit more comfortable. Yeah, it's more comfortable.
But then we go from one opposite to the other, and possibly we end this call with one question that, of course, we want to know, which is what was your worst complaint ever?
My worst complaint ever.
That you had a colleague, Adrian, and a manager, Claude, that they bother you all day long. Yeah, that was the complaint.
I think my worst complaint was at Hilton Linsgate with a businessman, a diamond member, and he came angry and he made me angry. I mean, I'm usually a positive person. I'm trying to deal with everyone, but he actually made me angry. I had to take my time to think of an answer and to actually empathize, saying, if he's that angry, why is that? He was coming, he had one bedroom for his 2 little kids and himself. And I told him we can't have, he only said 1 children on the reservation. I said, we can have the 3 of you in 1 bedroom. He was a member diamond. And I remember he was very, very upset. He probably had a really bad day. And I was very angry. And I just went to the back. I said, what we can do. And then I'd say, look, at this point, it was it was almost 11. My shift was finishing, and I remember I had a really bad day. So that was like the top of the top. And then I went to the back, and I actually thought, like, look, I'm going to do it. I'm going to give him the presidential suite. It's available, and it's going to fit the three of them, and he's going to be happy, and he's going to go to the executive lounge tomorrow for breakfast, quiet with his children. And I went to him, and I actually apologized first because I answered him on a bad way as well. Like, I shouldn't have, obviously. But I went to him and I said, exactly. But I told him, like, look, I'm really sorry. I had a really long and bad day, as I think you had to, and you have your two children, which probably didn't make it much easier. And I'm gonna do this for you. I didn't even ask for permission because it was too late. I couldn't find the duty manager. The night shift was about to come. So I just did it, and I say, if they're angry with me tomorrow, we'll see. But this diamond will be happy. So I remember that was my worst complaint, not the worst situation, but worse because he made me angry, and I had to really think on cold blood what I would do. And it's one of the experience I learned the most.
Well, I guess you did this because you yourself were empowered. So you didn't have to ask anybody. You went with your instinct. I'll give him that. He's happy. If somebody's angry at me tomorrow, we'll see. But, you did this. So, and well done also for apologizing, for saying that you had a bad day, because we've all been through that, I'm sure.
Definitely.
At the end, we're all humans, and we all have the right to have a bad day. Yeah.
Very good. So, Adrian, is there anything that you want to say to anybody watching, and our followers, and Irene, before we say goodbye?
Like, share, and subscribe to our followers. And Irene, it was a pleasure to have you here with us. Thank you so much for being with us.
Thank you. I mean, I'm so glad to be here. I remember you both, and I learned so much from you. You are truly leaders, each on your side, your restaurant and room division. And I know you're going to go so far, and I'm really glad. As soon as I learned about this new initiative of yours, I wanted to be part of it. So keep going. You're doing great. I'm following you, and hopefully everyone from my LinkedIn list will follow you soon. So yeah, very happy to be here, and thank you for counting on me.
And we wish you the same, of
much.
course, for your future. And for everybody else, we'll see you next week, and have a good evening. Goodbye.
Bye.